Alright, it is time for the Borderlands movie. I cannot believe a movie finally exists. I've really wanted this for a while. And with such a big cast, Cate Blanchett, just, oh my god, Jamie Lee Curtis, Claptrap, Jack Black is playing you. Jack Trap, or Clap Black, just, oh my god, I mean, he was so good as Bowser, with Peaches. Oh my god, this is so exciting. I cannot wait for this. This is gonna be so much fun. I mean, the fact that the director last year had his best movie in years. Oh my god. I feel like he finally knows what he's doing. Actually, let me see. What do people have to say about this movie? Oh. Who cares? Who cares what they think? I mean, come on. It can't be that bad. Oh. Okay. Yeah. That hurt. That really hurt. You know what? I need to have a marathon this weekend. Like, even some of the lesser known ones, like, this had its gems in it, because I need to laugh, I need to have fun again. Yep, I'm gonna be busy all weekend. Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on Borderlands. This is the film adaptation of the very popular first-person shooter RPG franchise, which I myself am a fan of. We follow Lilith, played by Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart as Roland, and Jack Black as Claptrap. The casting was pretty controversial even before a trailer even dropped. And they are on a journey to escort Tiny Tina because apparently she has the key to open up the vault. The Lilith is not a vault hunter, she is a bounty hunter, but she does decide to go out on this journey to take Tiny Tina, and all these other people come along with her, just like, because in the game you could pick one of these people and, of course, try to open the vault. So, like I mentioned before, I am a fan of the games. I think they are a lot of fun. I've had so much fun playing the games. It was pretty much one of the big franchises I got into when I was starting to get into video games. The amount of guns you could get, all of its witty humor, the hilarious references, the Easter eggs, the interesting NPCs you interact with when you're given quests. It was all just so endearing. The second game is one of my all-time favorite first-person shooters, and even the games that came after that, while not as well received, I still feel like they managed to have their charm once in a while. And it wasn't always about shooting. There was also Tales from the Borderlands, which was developed by Telltale Games, the creators of the Walking Dead games. This was a great game. Despite it having no combat whatsoever, it's your basic point-and-click game. It had such an engaging story and great characters that I honestly feel like, this is the better version of this movie, because I'm sorry. I'm frustrated a little bit after seeing that movie, because I honestly haven't gotten this frustrated with a movie since seeing Morbius, because that movie made me almost want to fall asleep when it started. And same with this one. There might be some spoilers in this, so I'm just going to warn you right now, but this is coming from a longtime fan of the franchise. Like, I have had so much fun with these games, and seeing an adaptation would make sense because it did become popular enough to get a franchise of its own ever since that first game. But when it comes to adapting it into a movie, and the fact that we already had a cast of characters that, really didn't fit in. I mean, Kevin Hart as Roland was pretty much one of the biggest things about this that just felt like it wouldn't work, and it didn't. Honestly, none of the cast could really perform their roles right. I mean, sure, Kate Blanchett does try her hardest for you to connect with her, but honestly, she's just miscast here. And Kate Blanchett is such a good actress, but this might just be her weakest performance yet. And of course, another big thing is, of course, is Jack Black as Claptrap. And I love Claptrap. He's my favorite NPC throughout the franchise. I love, despite how annoying he is, he has so much funny stuff to say that it's just what makes him so interesting. In this movie, oh my god, I'm just going to tell you right now, he pretty much just feels like the robot version of, I don't want to say it because I feel so bad for saying it, but, you know, him. So yeah, it's already a red flag knowing that the cast really doesn't work here. But I would say that the violence can make up for it, but that's another thing. It has the PG-13 rating. And this is coming from Eli Roth, the director of all of these, which had a hardcore R rating and never shied away from violence or disturbing imagery. Like in the games, like they're not the most hardcore M-rated games out there, but I mean, sure, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was rated T, but hey, it managed to have blood once in a while. But there was just a good amount of gore throughout those games where, you know, enemies' limbs would just fly right off as they're coming right towards you and you just take them out. And it managed to get very gruesome once in a while. Of course, you had the option to turn off the gore, but it's way more fun when it has the gore. And even with this movie, without any gore, it just felt boring. When the action is boring and the characters don't work, you know you aren't doing something right. Like, what was the excuse of making this PG-13? I mean, what is it with, you know, movies, you know, based off M-rated game franchises just going the PG-13 route? I thought we were out of that era now because Mortal Kombat finally got an adaptation that was R-rated. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was still something. Also, another thing that this movie does not do right is the humor. I felt like when it came to the humor, it did not deliver in the slightest. Even some of the other games, when they had lines that didn't deliver, I still felt like there was more effort put in those than here. Because when it came to its humor, I feel like it's lacking because the movie just takes itself far too seriously with its storyline and trying to have you connect. Tiny Tina is supposed to be a wacky, you know, crazy lunatic girl, and just had so many of these one-liners, but they just make her come off as emotional and just feel like the character that was in her in the games was just ripped right, they just ripped it right out of her. And sure, she has a couple moments of her being a maniac, but it's not enough. It's not enough for any of the characters, and it's just... Honestly, I feel like this could have just worked as a TV series, like have more depth with the characters rather than just Lilith, because they're endearing. They're supposed to be cool. They're supposed to have unique personalities behind them. That's why it was so cool taking out the one character that you had. It added so much replayability to the games. And I know, I'm comparing this to the games a lot. You do have to make changes for your adaptations, but even the amount of detail that they have for the world, there is a lot of green screen and a lot of really bad CGI here and there. And it just looked atrocious. Oh, and don't even bother trying to connect with the story because the story goes like this. Take this girl because she has the key to something. And they even mentioned a part where she could possibly die. She doesn't die, but they mentioned that. Gee, where have I heard of that one before? What was it again? What was it? Girl trying to take a girl one place to another because she has the key to something. You know what? I can't really think of anything. It's actually super original, so forget I said anything about that. But seriously, when the humor doesn't work, when the violence doesn't work, when the casting doesn't work, it just has you begging, like, what's the point of even continuing on watching this anymore? And I should also mention, when it does come to the humor, it usually tends to be mostly smart when it comes to these games. But in the movie, well... there's a part where they're in a land full of pee, and obviously, there's a pee joke. Oh, and there's a part in the movie where Claptrap says something like poopy butt or something like that. and he craps bullets. So there's that. But hey, the story takes itself far too seriously, like giving you all this emotion towards the end of the film, but it did nothing. Like, sure, it did that for the second game a little bit, but hey, the game was still funny. And hey, if you were gonna bring a villain to this movie, why not have Handsome Jack? Like, that is a massive missed opportunity. And again, the violence is just so dull and weak that honestly, what they could have done if they gave this movie an R rating, they could have gotten this amount of guns, and they could have just used so many creative ways of killing enemies off, just like in the games. Like, that would have been a good amount of fan service. That would have made the movie a hell of a lot more fun and forgiving for its weak storyline and its weak cast. I mean, like, seriously, these actors have been in such good roles before. Like, I love Jack Black. He's a great comedian. Like, I thought he was one of the best aspects of the Mario Brothers movie, but he did not work here. I did not feel like I was listening to Claptrap. I felt like I was listening to a very weak version of Jack Black. And I cannot believe I'm going on about this movie, but I was just frustrated by the end and just couldn't believe that we're still in this era of really bad adaptations. They could have just made it a TV series on Netflix or something and just boosted up that rating. That way it could have died a whole lot deeper to have me caring a lot more. But I didn't care a single bit about this film. It's dull, it's weak, it's not funny. The cast, despite the fact that they're really trying here, just felt off as super weak. It fails at capturing the spirit and charm of the games with its PG-13 rating, and the fact that it just oftentimes didn't really feel like I was watching a Borderlands movie, but more like a weak, dull version of a Borderlands movie. Just not in the way I would have expected, because I expected far more humor, and when it came to the humor, none of it worked. By the end of it, I was just amazed that they went this long to making the film, that by the end of it, it's probably one of the worst video game adaptations I've seen in a really long time. And yeah, by the end of it, I just recommend staying home and watching the Fallout series again, because that pretty much gave fans like myself what I wanted to see. And yeah, this is a planet that I do not want to visit ever again, unless it's on consoles. When I heard the early buzz, I knew that it was probably going to be bad, but oh my god, what did they do here? Just, it has me worried about what's going to happen with the future of the Borderlands game series. I mean, sure, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, it wasn't great, but hey, at least Tiny Tina acted like Tiny Tina. Sure, her jokes were repetitive, but I'll take the jokes in this than any of the jokes that this movie had to offer. But I have gone way too long with this video. Oh my god, I don't know why I've been talking so long about this, but I had quite a bit to say. So yeah, you're probably just gonna see Deadpool again, because hey, that never shied away from violence. And by the way, congrats on becoming the highest grossing R-rated film. Like, we got the highest grossing animated film and the highest grossing R-rated film. So yeah, I predict it's going to win the box office again. This, I feel like, is just going to be forgotten after the first week, and it's just, that's a prediction anyway. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.